Good evening and welcome to our special meeting of the CRA. I ask at this time if you would shut off any devices you may have. And again, I welcome all 6 of you, or 5 or 4, whatever it is. But I certainly welcome the media at the back of the room too.
And you'll have lots on here in just a few minutes, you just count on that.
All right, good enough. Anyway, thank you all for being here, and if any reason you want to speak to us, please feel free to go out and get a yellow card, fill it out, and give it to me.
Yeah.
I'll take it up here. And at this time, I'm going to call on Mr. Gottney to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good enough. We only have one item of business tonight, item 2A, and I'm going to call on our Growth Management Director to lead us in that endeavor.
Good evening, Board. We were tasked with evaluating the position and coming up with a suggested amount in order to submit to our board. We considered that this was a multifaceted position for being the CRA director, and also specifies oversight and management responsibility in your Main Street Association. So it's very similar to the compensation levels that we come up with in 2016, and whether we categorize it as a high-level entry or a low-level mid-position, the annual base salary that come up with for this position is approximately $65,000. I included the description for the CRA director as it explains their duties and their responsibilities. I also included the 2016-17 regional demand occupational list, which shows the classifications for your administrative services managers, your business operations specialists, your general and operation managers, your management analysts, and social and community service managers. I pulled this year's quantitative review. I pulled from the Okaloosa area, which is considered Crestview, Fort Walton, and Destin. And you have that category in front of you, which would show a mean yearly compensation of an entry level of nearly $56,000 and a mid level as being about $82,000. So if you consider the base wage of $65,000, your normal taxes, so, that is the Social Security and your Medicare, will take the first $5,000 off of that. Typical withholding will take about $12,000, so that the net yield is approximately $48,000, and then you must consider insurance. So if you do average level insurance for that particular area, wage area, you're looking at a take home of between $38,000 and $41,000. So that's how I reached my classification of $65,000, and that's the data that I have to support it. And I present that to the board.
Before I take any comments or questions, I do want to note that we are missing one commissioner. Commissioner Shannon Hayes is not here this evening. Everybody else is here and accounted for. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know you want to speak. Yes, Mr. Godney?
I see that, but I'd like to start it at $55,000, and then when she gets her CRA director's license and goes through the courses, then we can give her a raise. 'Cause we want her to do that in the first year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Any other comments? Discussion, questions? Yes, Dr. LaRose.
Thank you. In terms of the responsibilities of the director toward Main Street, can you give me a better idea as to what the expectations are?
Okay. As in your leaflet, in your packet, it will, in a nutshell, the coordination of the oversight with the downtown revitalization program, utilizing historic preservation, and downtown economic development. They also develop, conduct, and execute the requirements of the Main Street program. You know, they have a 4-point program to stay qualified. They would also be working the organization, promotional design, and economic reconstruction development committees in order to develop an annual action plan and implement strategies for the development of downtown. It would be to oversee the administration of the program and funding sources for and also initiate funding development strategies. Contract and grant management. They provide education and ongoing public awareness, speaking engagements, public relations, and they supervise all contracted services.
So in terms of the,
You still have the floor, ma'am, yes.
okay, so, in terms of the role of the, director in regards to the Main Street Association, how do they work together?
They work as an oversight director. They will be in the broadest general qualifications in order to secure the 501c status of Main Street. They are not an events manager. They're not a day-to-day management of any of their offices or any of their elements there. It is strictly in a broad sense oversight in making sure that they're on the line that they should be going in order to hold the requirements that that organization needs. They just kind of work in tandem on different things. Main Street is responsible now of securing out our fall festival, and in that element, the CRA director provided an overview in order to get their advertising, their publicity. Did they go down and do day-to-day activities as far as putting on the festival? No, they did not. They come and did oversight, made sure the elements were in place, make sure the permitting was right. Does that help explain?
Yes, that's very
It's kind of
helpful. Thank you.
complex, but it's not the actual physical boots on the ground of the management of the festivals and activities.
Any other comments, questions?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Cox, go ahead.
Okay. Can you confirm this is a full-time job?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where will the CRA director's office be located?
It's located within the Growth Management Department.
Is that one of the new office spaces, or you haven't
It's-
designated yet?
Yes,
exactly
we
where it's
have a
at?
designated place, and because the Main Street will be in there, we're currently having the air conditioning vents redone to our small conference room in the rear, which would be more adequate for that amount of personnel to be there, and also have their supplies and stuff where they need it. So they won't be cramped into one small office. They will have a workable office there with access to the administrative items that they need. But we got them covered.
Yes, Mr. Conley?
I just wanted to spring Ms. LaRose on the Main Street part. Now we give them $25,000 a year from the CRA presently, okay? And that's to fund events on Main Street, okay? And another source, but that all has to be accounted for. I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
All right, I would like to, first of all, how long should we expect certification to take?
Which level of certification do you require?
Well.
Do you
what-
want the basic CRA certification?
Well, that would be the first step, right?
Uh,
Okay, so how long would that take? Typically.
I would have to check out and see what's available. The entry level would be more boots on the ground. There's not really, there's a couple of training programs that they can go to that are very short. The FRC, the qualifications that Brenda went through were the 5 major where you're state certified. Those are very in-depth, very difficult, and to have someone go through that process within a year is most unlikely. And Brenda did run through them in the year's time and come out very successful. But they are difficult, and they do take, they're very demanding. So to tie them down and say that they will be state certified within a year would be very unfair to someone at this level. The normal, basic, being able to operate in a CRA capacity, within 6 months, we should have it fully well functioning.
And the reason I ask that, because I'm kind of the mindset that Mr. Gottney is in terms of, I have a little bit different range than he does, but I'm of the mindset that since the negotiation is at about 65K, I was thinking that we would initially approve $60,000 with a $5,000 bonus at the end of 6 months if everything was going in the direction we felt it should be. Because if we peg it to the certification, and the certification takes a year or so, I'm not so sure that would be quite fair to her. So that's where I was kind of going with that. Ultimately, she would reach the goal that she wanted, the 65K, but it'd be kind of a carrot at the end of the string there within 6 months if you can do that. That's where I was going with that. If there don't want, yes, Mr. Fairclough.
Is this a negotiated contract price, or are we establishing a step, level 1, and then after she gets certified, she'll go to level 2 or what? I would be opposed to giving a bonus because that's taxed at a much higher rate than a
Yes, sir.
salary.
Well, okay, then maybe I wouldn't call it a bonus. Maybe a delayed payment, whatever you want.
Okay. Keep in mind, this is contractual, so it's a little different in order to achieve an increase at a certain time. It's not like they will get a raise because it's different. And I'm sure Ms. Leone would be able to better explain that, but it's not like you're going to be giving somebody an actual raise. You're going to give them an advancement up in their compensation at a contractual level.
Did you negotiate this with her?
I have talked with her, and that's about what she was thinking. And as anything else, we present it to the board. If this is something that can be achievable, that's fine. If it's something that you require a certain amount of expertise to be demonstrated at a lesser level, that is understandable and perfectly within the realm.
When you were gathering all your info together to come to this 65K, does she have any of those qualifications that you looked at to reach this 65K?
She would have had to have some of these in order to be in the career and the mindset of, tourist and economic development. She touches on these, whether they're formally listed on her criteria or not. A person that is going to do any type of management as far as even a hotel or a senior center or anything, you're going to be a management analyst. You've got to be able to put your dollars and cents in order. In order to do the paperwork it takes to turn in reports, you're going to have to touch into the administrative services. So this is just the closest that we could find that mimicked exactly the ones that we held for the previous director.
Yes, Mr. Blocker.
I was going to ask our attorney, similar to the same thing that Teresa just alluded to us here. Is there anything that in the, not having the certification at present that might be needed, do you see a red flag anywhere in any of the performance or the responsibilities and duties that she would be called upon to perform?
Knowing redevelopment, I know that I would personally say that it's important because she has no redevelopment experience. We should talk, she should definitely get some immediate knowledge about redevelopment because there are definitely ramifications and statutes and rules that she must be aware of. So, and short answer is yes, I think she needs to get information from some source or another right away so that she doesn't go afoul. And that's, I was alluding to before she does anything, that she should work closely with me. I can point her in the direction of things or tell her right straight out, answer questions that she might have. But yeah, she needs to know how things must work in redevelopment, and that's something that's important.
Well, that was going to be my recommendation, that she spend as much time with you to begin with. Okay?
There will be also in-house training because
Right.
we possess the documentation for the Florida certification of the redevelopment. We have all that literature from the classes that was just taken.
Right.
Yes, first thing she'll do is dive in and have an intense training program.
Good. Thank
Mr.
you.
Faircloth, I'll get you next.
The training that Ms. Leon may offer, plus the in-house training, does any of that get her closer to certification?
It will put her on the path.
Will she
There's
just
no
go-
way, there's no way we can certify her at that time, but we can put her in enough training where that she can attend a certification class and process through that successfully. So the first available that we can have on the upcoming calendar, she will be registered in the first available. But before that, even day one, she needs to understand and lay out the criteria that we're expecting and also how to achieve it, plus the laws and regulations that go along with that.
And she'll be able to get all this training and toward certification and do the business of the CRA at the same time?
Well, in order to succeed at her job, she will have to.
I suppose so.
Yes, sir. That's required from anybody coming on a job. If you need to get, when you start a new job, you have a certain amount of time in order to come up to par. She is a very A personality. She is very intelligent, and I don't hesitate to say that we're looking forward. Both Carol and myself are both looking forward to working with her, and I think that it will be a benefit for the city.
Mr. Cox, you were next.
Okay. I was comfortable with 65 max to start. I like Mr. Witten's suggestion of 60,000 and with an additional 5,000 available after basic CRA certification, if that would meet contractual verbiage.
And you can phrase the contract however you want to. If you wanted a flat 5,000 increase, bonus, and a lump sum in 6 months, or if you want to then change to a 65,000 annual basis after 6 months, you just need to let me know how you want the contract written.
Yes, Mr. Gardner.
I was taking your motion, if you would,
I want to make sure everybody
Sorry.
had the opportunity to comment before I ask for action. Do you have anything else, Dr. Lewis? Okay.
I do have a question in terms of what the board's expectations are for her after the first 6 months.
The board's
What are
expectations.
expectations or the CRA's expectations?
Okay. Well, and I expect her to be able to adhere to her job description as produced in our document and to hit the high spots of that. It would mean that they would assist the CRA Board of Commissioners in furthering the redevelopment projects of the district, that they would need to keep the board informed on trends, social and economic district dynamics. That's hard to say. Okay, we're going to assess the blight and the obstacles to growth. They're going to determine development, momentum, and planning, and also consider with our destination and our economic stimulation. The director will need to implement the CRA plan in full realization of the building programs and the projects that are coming in under our 2017 plan. Let's see. The annual budget, periodic budget amendments, accounting to the trust fund program and project managements, procurement, encumbrances, fund dispersals, contract management, grant resources, management, policy updates, volunteer personnel management coordination, filing the required financial reports, filing the required annual report. And if you come down through the administration, management, and coordination with the plan itself, and they're going to be conducting business activities on behalf of the board in those projects and plans that may even go through additional revisions to the plan, redevelopment incentive strategies, economic and workforce development strategies, research and training, public relations, marketing campaigns, investor development strategies, partnership and investor relationships, as well as development, and property enhancement strategies. So they're going to be very, very busy with the new 2017 plan once the board has put it in action. There are numerous programs in there that are geared at facilitating redevelopment, sort of incentives for business, for coming up with building code remedies, such as incentives to assure that the owners of property can utilize funds to come up with their building code recommendations, and again, the facade grant. That's another biggie that takes place, and it's also time consuming.
Teresa, if I could add to that, would I'd just like to say something and then call for action from the commissioners. And that is, I don't think that we can do an evaluating checklist of all those things you just listed. I think, but we do have to have a measurement, and I'm glad you brought that up, Dr. Rose. And I think that if we decide 6 months, at the end of 6 months, you as a supervisor would come in front of us and say, this individual has accomplished these things. What we're looking for a director is someone who gives us direction. Are we accomplishing anything? At the end of 6 months, you come back, this is what your directors have been able to do for you, and we say, yeah, we're happy. And we do the bonus on, no, we're not happy, we're going to withhold the bonus. So I don't think it's really a checklist we can go down through everything, but kind of a review at the end of 6 months.
Yeah. Well, those are just the general things they'll be tapping into. Will
know,
they
but
accomplish everything?
There are so many
No.
general things, though.
Yeah, but it's just your general listing, and they provide reports. Your previous director provided reports daily.
Right. Well, we'll get all those. I'm asking for action now by the commissioners. Mr. God, you wanted to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we started at 60,000, but I'd like to see her get her CRA certification within 1 year. And she's got to be a degree, this woman's got to be a degree already.
Are we having a conversation, or are you making a motion? You have to
I'll
do
make
one
a
or the
motion,
other.
we pay her $60,000, increase it to $65,000 when she gets her CRA certification.
Okay, that's the motion on the floor right now, is that we initiate the contract at $60,000 and move it up to $65,000 at CRA certification. Do I have a second?
Second.
Can we have a motion second? Any further discussion?
I have one question. Are you qualifying that as state certification or simply your CRA
That's what I was
director
asked.
certification?
I want state certification within 1 year.
State,
Our
cer-
other director did it, and there's no reason that she cannot do it.
Well, since we're still in discussion, Dr. Leone, does that sound reasonable to you?
And are we talking Florida Redevelopment Association certification when
Yes.
we say state?
Mhm.
I think
1 year
that they
reasonable?
hold those classes throughout the year, and there's, I think, 5 in order to
Five.
be certified, and they do hold each, 5, one per every couple months, and you can logistically get it
So it
done
can
in a
be
year,
done.
yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right, we have,
Yeah.
yes, Mr. Cox.
The basic, the first step is basic CRA certification. Is that correct, Teresa? Before
would
state
what
certification. The
ranking-
basic, the first step is basic CRA certification.
Brenda come back with CRA certification from the Florida League of Cities. It was a course in conjunction with them.
So it was
And how
one
long
course?
did that
So-
take?
So whether, well, it was simply one of the 1 week seminars. It was, I think it lasted about 3 or 4 days. But however, I'm not sure if it's still available. I will double check to make sure that the Florida League of Cities one is still available.
Okay, and we will, of course, the board will okay those costs to attend that. We did last year, I'm assuming that. So I can be okay with the motion as presented.
Okay. No further discussion. We have the motion second to begin the salary of $60,000 with an opportunity of $5,000 upon state certification CRA director. Okay? All those in favor, please respond aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Let the record show we had 6 for, none against, and 1 absent. At this point, I'll call on anybody in the audience who'd like to address the CRA commissioners. Second call from anybody. Anybody from the audience like to address us? If not, then I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.